Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Angel Eye. Today I'm back with a timeless reading and we're going to be doing a wild card spread. That's a very personal layout that I have loved most whenever I don't have a specific question or topic in mind, but just want to be open to see what message Spirit has for me in that very moment. So, today it's going to be a general reading from the point of view of a woman, which means you're represented by the card number 29. However, that's just the first way to understand if this reading is meant for you. But of course, you can also watch as a man. Then you just adjust the message according to your own situation. As always, just take what feels right for you. And at the end, you'll find the intuition check where you can choose one or also more color cards that you feel drawn the most to. I'll then put some numbers on top of each color card that will confirm your intuition by a percentage, how much this reading applies to your personal situation or question. Now, let's get started. Okay, my dear, I'll give you a little bit of a warning before I start. It is not an easy situation that you're dealing with. And before I start describing your situation, I want to mention that while I was shuffling and spreading the cards, my dog got up from his sofa and placed himself right next to me. So I always take everything that happens around me as a part of the reading. So dog and friendship, yeah, that might be an interesting thing for you. But let's first see how you're doing and what's your situation. Now, you are here in that position, and I do think that at the moment you're not really happy. You might have family, you might be married, you might have children as well, but there's something going on that you do not quite want to see, I think, but you feel that this might not be the thing or the way you imagined your marriage or your family. So with the sun card right underneath you and the moon next to it, that's also or already an indication, yeah, that you're not really feeling that happiness that you imagined coming from this marriage. And at the moment, if I should find a title or like a main theme for the whole reading, I think it is about you. And there's a very special card that's not a typical Lenormand card. It's called the Crown, which is placed right next to you and you're looking into it. So I actually chose it just as a significator card to let me know what it is all about. And now it's placed right next to you. I think it's all about you. And I think it's all about you being treated as a queen. It's about the question, what do you deserve in relationships, especially in romantic relationships? How do you deserve to be treated? And what are you going to do if you're not treated the way you deserve to be treated? It's about your own crown, your coronation, maybe wherever you see yourself at the moment. And I think let's talk a little bit about your past. So there was first a very passionate beginning of this relationship. I think it might have come quite quickly that you married, or at least you got into a very official state of your relationship. There's the book, there's the ring. That definitely has some official character. But you realized that, or maybe didn't want to realize, but some kind you kind of felt that it's not that most stable energy in this relationship. I think there was a lot of up and down. There were arguments, there were discussions, there were difficult moments. Then again, there was harmony and happiness, but never really stable with the ship here and the mice. That shows us that, yeah, it's more like a rough transition on the ship. You know, it's rocky. It's, yeah, as I said, back and forth, up and down. And with the mice, we already see that this had kind of a toll on your energy. Yeah, it was already energy consuming, that you never could really get into that stable grounded energy in this relationship that you have. The moon card as well confirms that yeah, there is something hidden, there's something going on in, or it's already having a toll on your emotional and your mental state. Yeah, you're kind of unwell. Maybe it did already lead to not sleeping well, or having dreams, or waking up at night and having had a bad dream or something like that. That's easily possible. And this area of the spread shows us that you were maybe thinking or realizing that there was a decision to take about this situation, but you pushed it away. And now with this spread, you're being confirmed or almost urged to have another look at that, to not overlook it, to not push it away, to not ignore that you're simply not happy in your current situation. And it's a strong reminder that you deserve more, that you deserve happiness, and that this is also in store for you, but it cannot come to you if you don't dare to take the decisions that there are to take. And if you just push it away or keep pushing it away, and you're encouraged to instead acknowledge what is going on, to deal with it, to be strong, to face reality, to face the truth. And it might be uncomfortable first. It might be away with this little hole here. That's your timeline, actually. We see that it might take quite some time. Yeah, it might be a difficult path that you have to step on, but you're still encouraged to no longer ignore what you're feeling, because it will not lead you anywhere. It will keep you stuck in this state of not being happy and repressing your feelings, and also, you know, repressing your mental and emotional health. And now let's get into the situation of your counterpart, your husband or your partner, a little bit. I think this is he's positioned here. That is your near future. And the potential of that time is that you will maybe find out that there is another woman in your life. So you're basically finding yourself in a third party situation. That is the potential here of this spread. Again, be very, very discerning to decide whether this is your reading or not. But I just talk about what's in the cards. And there is something going on. Let's talk about his situation. I think that is what we see here. There is another woman, and there is the fox, there's the mountain, there's the house. I think there is some kind of betrayal going on, especially if you follow that line. You know, there's a connection to the fox. I think, yeah, something is going on behind your back, whether you do already know it or you might find out in the future. That's also possible with the Sun card here. But I think, I'm not sure if it did go on already, or if that with that other woman, that story, if that did start in the past. That could be possible with the bouquet here. But you didn't kind of want to give that idea any chance to grow. But as soon as you have a look, as soon as you dare to face reality, you will notice that there is someone. It can also be the case that it's, you know, a little bit softer, that there have been several flirts or women in the past that you noticed, for example, your partner is always, you know, flirting with other women, with the waitress, with someone, a friend of a friend, when you're at parties maybe, or when you're out. He never gave you the feeling that you're the one, but more the opposite, like always showed you that you are not the only one. There are always some other women that are as interesting as you are. That would be, or have been, the feeling for you. And in the near future, there's definitely a potential for one woman, I think, in particular, that might be very, very present in his life, that could also have the potential to really kind of allow feelings between them to grow. And that's now really interesting, to grow in a kind of a healthy way, even with the tree. So that's actually giving me the idea that you and your partner, there might have been, as I said, that first wonderful, passionate spark, but maybe you rushed into a relationship, and maybe also rushed into having a family together. That's possible. Or maybe there was the official part of that relationship because maybe you were pregnant, or yeah, just something like this. And I don't know if you noticed. No, you cannot see, but just in this moment, one of my candles turned off. I think that's exactly going into the direction where the whole spread is leading us towards. So maybe you were not meant to be in that stable relationship, because it was just, with the book again, a lesson that you could learn with that man. And this is maybe a key for you now. The key is also here to, you know, not kind of stick to it until eternity, just because you took that decision in the past to marry that guy, and to allow yourself to adjust and to correct a mistake, which I think was not a mistake in general. The only mistake might have been to, you know, to fix this thing instead of just living it and leaving it open, taking it for a while and taking the lessons out of it. But for some reason you tried to kind of put it into cement and that was maybe the mistake. But don't worry, mistakes are here to learn from them and to kind of correct them, and this is what you're encouraged to. So there we see, in the near future, we see some betrayal, which, by the way, then is, from the perspective of your partner, actually the better way, the more correct way. That is the way of his heart. Yeah, he also rushed into that thing with you, I think, and realized somehow, or he never found himself really in that, you know, one woman forever kind of energy. And with this woman coming in, to you it's actually a betrayal, but for them it's very healthy. And this is why you should not stand in their way. And if we kind of follow that line through the end of that thing, the whole spread, actually, that's very interesting. We have the heart, we have the cross, we have the coffin, and we have the dog. So I think as soon as you go into that energy that you acknowledge, and you yeah, as I said, find the courage to face the truth, the thing that you really feel in your relationship, and once you start thinking about what it is that you actually wanted from him, from that relationship, you will realize that there is a gap, that what you want is not what you have. And then it's about deciding and getting clearer and clearer about what you actually wish, and what it takes from a man or from a relationship. By the way, from all relationships that we can have, but in particular from a love relationship in that case. What does it take to make you feel like the queen in your own life? And this is exactly what you deserve, and this is your reminder that you should not settle for less. If you have chosen a path that you think would lead you to your kingdom and to you feeling like the queen, but if that was or appears to be an illusion, don't stop here, don't settle, and don't judge yourself. Just have a look at what's really going on and take a step back again if this is not your path. As simple as that. And at the same time as difficult. We all know that. But in the end, it's just as simple as that. If you realize you're on the wrong path, that this is not leading you to the vision you have for yourself, this is not leading to your happiness, then choose another path. That's it. And there will be, I think, if there are children involved, there will have to be a lot of clearing, of course, talking, maybe arguing. Don't fear that. You will get through it if you kind of manage to go into that energy of the dog, of a loyal friend, of friendship. You know, if you manage to not judge him, your partner, for putting you into that situation of distress and pain and disappointment, whether he did it on purpose, whether he did it knowingly that you were not already the one, but it can also be that he just had the same illusion that you had, and try to, you know, not get stuck by blaming him and becoming stuck in anger, and instead try to switch into that energy that you both thought it would be something else. You both had that illusion. You both realize it is not what you wanted from it to be, and just accept things as they are, and try to find the best solution for everyone, especially when there are kids involved. And I just remember you. There are the lilies, and here the bear card could be him. It could also be him being in that role of a father to children. So in that case, for the children, it is important that you speak lovingly about the situation, and that you try to find a solution, which is a solution that everyone can live with. It's not about blaming. It's not about pointing the finger towards someone else. Also not to that woman, because she maybe just might be the right woman for him. And in the end, at the moment, maybe it's difficult, but in the end, you might one day be grateful to her that she kind of saved you by stepping in from going down the wrong path. At the moment, it's certainly difficult to feel that way, but yeah, that's why we ask the cards for another idea, for another approach. And I think here with the house card, the mountain next to it, and the scissors, which is the scythe in the regular Lenormand classification, and the key, I think the family you have with that man, after sitting together and talking about it, talking about your true feelings, also his true feelings about that other woman, seriously and in a friendship trying to find a solution, I think this family wants to come to an end, and instead there wants to be friendship between you and your partner, I think. And it is very, very much up to you how you approach this situation, if that whole thing can be solved and guided into a healthy and harmonious friendship relationship, or whether it can kind of blow up and end in total chaos. You can actually decide what outcome you will have by the way you approach this situation. And here again, the crown, that's a very, very lovely card, I realize. An additional card here reminds you of, you know, approaching it like a queen, not like a crazy young guy, like a crazy young girl, I wanted to say. Full of passion, and you know, it's about the calm way. It's about staying grounded, staying in your heart space, being calm, and approach it in a very mature and almost wise way, you know, by realizing, you know, okay, or acknowledging this situation has offered me a lot of wisdom as well. With the book, I had the chance to learn a lot about relationships, but also about me, about my self-worth, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm ready to move on like a queen, not like a warrior. And yeah, that's actually, I think, again, the outcome for you. Again, this gap here, I always interpret it as a kind of a time stretch where we do not know how long it will take you. So don't fear, you know, that this might be a long way back actually to, you know, correct the steps that you took into that direction. But realizing that it has come to a dead end, it can take some time to walk back a few steps in order to find another path to start. And you should not fear that. Just the timing, hand it over to the universe, trust into divine timing. Just the first step, do the first step. And remember, the first step is to acknowledge what you have, to kind of stop walking down that path and acting as if it was what you really wanted it to be. But just stop and have a look at it, and dare to admit to yourself and to your partner and to everyone else, no, it is not what I expected it to be. Then let's still pause. Let's get together. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about his feelings. That is also helpful. You know, if he maybe discovered that that snake lady here, it kind of and almost feels to me like not the toxic other woman, but like, you know, sometimes it can just happen. Someone comes in and for the first time you feel something you have never felt before. And this spread reminds me of that kind of situation. He did not betray you or treat you the way he treated you in your relationship willingly in order to hurt you or in order to make you feel bad, but more because he didn't know what love really is or can be. And this woman almost feels to me like, you know, with if you have a look at this this line here, sun, snake, man, fish, tree, she could actually almost be like the angel that saves him, you know, from settling in relationships. And maybe he did that in the past, to several women, from hurting women because he thinks that this is it, because he thinks that he's really happy, and he's not really aware what true feelings are. Maybe because his heart was not really open, never. And this woman looks to me like she's putting an end to it, as if an angel came down to earth and said, you know, that's enough now. I'll intervene, or I'll step in and protect these two guys, you and your partner, from being stuck in a not happy and healthy relationship, from, you know, continuing this lie of a relationship where you want all the focus on yourself, which you totally deserve, but he not being able to give you this amount of attention and this depth of affection, because he does not really know how to feel, and he does not know really how to love with his heart. So the tree here means there's some major healing being necessary, healing of his emotional realm. And that is not your job, because you are already in that position where you know what you wanted, and you just did settle for less. For you, I think it's more about the lesson of your self-worth and, you know, self-love as well. It's about daring to say no if you got something, or if you get something that is not as much as you deserve, or yeah, to just not settle for less, to not be happy if someone is just offering you crumbs instead of a whole breakfast every morning, and blaming him that he wanted to try with you would be the wrong approach, I think. He really wanted, but he did not know better, because his heart needs healing, and that's someone else's job, I guess. So don't feel hurt. I mean, it is painful, certainly, but don't, you know, give too much attention to the energy of blaming him and to hanging in the past. But just focus on, again, on what you want, and what happened maybe in the past, so that you could find yourself into, or in that situation where you're just actually, on the paper, maybe you have children, you have family, you have a house, you have the garden, whatever it is that you have, but in your heart, in your feeling, it does not make you happy. Try to learn from that situation and then move on like a queen. And I think the outcome of this situation, we're just having a look at that situation first. I think it might be exactly what I said, you know. Tower, stork, cross, and here is the coffin. I think there is a lot of heaviness in your love life at the moment, and that might still carry on a little bit. Of course, maybe you have to go through a divorce, maybe you have to go through separation, a lot of talking, maybe arguing as well, maybe also there are attorneys involved, and court situation in the end. But try to avoid to make it messy. Just always stay in your queen energy, in your mature energy. Try to be as understanding as much as you can for him. And this is, again, by not blaming him for what he did. It was certainly not right, but or yeah, it certainly might have caused you pain, but just always remember yourself, he did not do that on purpose. He did do that to you because he didn't know better. And hand all the healing of that situation regarding his feelings and his emotional immaturity over to someone else, to that woman that might either already be in his life, that you might feel as, you know, um, the betrayal, or she might come into his life. Don't deal with that. Just focus on yourself. That's the most important thing. Focus on yourself. Focus on your vision when it comes to family and love life and relationships in general, also in friendships. That's the next thing. Just take this whole spread as a loving reminder that you deserve more, that you deserve what you really wish for, and that this can come to you. We see that here there are the stars in your final outcome. This situation that you're finding yourself in at the moment and that is not making you happy, that is not fulfilling, this, I think, has to come to an end. And if you follow your inner guidance, the guidance of, again, of your crown, you will come to the same realization that this can only end. And as I said, that's really important. You decide by your energy and your approach how it will end, whether it will be a total mess or whether it can still be a friendship. And that is now the dog that I mentioned earlier, which is here at right there at the outcome. The potential of, or a potential outcome, is that there is still a loving friendship between you and that man. But it depends very much on you, on your own emotional maturity, whether you can, you know, kind of step above it and just realize and acknowledge that he was maybe just not on the level where you are when it comes to relationship and love. And yeah, that's actually, that's one of the, I think, the highest, I'm not sure if highest is the best word, sorry for my English, but it's definitely a high level life lesson that you can learn at the moment. And yeah, the outcome of this family, I think, might not be what you might wish at the moment. So I don't see any, you know, any switching it into or repairing it into having that thing that you wanted originally. But I see it being guided and led to a very mature end, or transformed into a relationship of friendship, of loyalty, of being there for your common kids, and then be open to really find that love that you wanted to find in this relationship with someone else. That's definitely the potential with the stars here in this position. Try to loosen that anchor. Try to, here, open the gates. Try to not to cling on it. Try to not hold on to it, but just let go what wants to go, and allow yourself also to, you know, to move on, and not allow someone else to keep you stuck in a certain situation that does not make you happy. This is a very clear situation where the two of you, you and your partner, might have different, very different speed, you know, in when it comes to relationship, in how fast you can move on. There might be at least to me, it looks like a lot of healing for him to do. And then maybe the lesson that you have to learn here with your self-worth, and your, you know, your coronation, your queen energy, that might still be a lesson for him in the future. So you're kind of ahead in this relationship, and if you would stay in it, you would kind of keep yourself stuck. The cards very clearly say, don't do that. Dare to let it end, or trust that you can lead it into an end as well. Because you realize that it can only end here before it, you know, it can cause some more or even some major damage for you, for your kids, for your husband, for whoever is involved. Just, yeah, this is again and again the message here. Step into that role of a queen. Remember your high vibration. Remember that you can stand above it. Remember that you have the strength to face the truth, and you have also the strength to admit that you're not on the right path at the moment. Don't blame yourself either. Just, you know, kind of make a cut, stop, pause, and then correct your direction. That's it. And yeah, that is all that I have for you at the moment. If you want, we can still have a look at the angels of love, what they have to say to us. So that is in German. I apologize for that. You can love without fear. So I think that is just a reminder that in a relationship, in a marriage, you should be able to feel, you know, seen, to feel appreciated, to be, yeah, to just love and put yourself into it without fearing that the other one might trick you, might walk away with it, might not give back, might yeah, reciprocate your love. So that is a very, very lovely reminder, and actually confirms exactly what we said. That is the crown energy. If you don't find yourself in that kind of situation right now, don't stop, don't settle, just clear the situation, bring it to an end, and dare to start a completely new path. Yeah. Thank you very much to all your spirit guides for this message. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we're now going over to our intuition check, where you can see how much of this particular situation really applies to your personal situation. Thank you again for watching, and see you soon. Bye.